Hello everybody, I hope everybody's had a good week, and I am excited about this module, and know we have a lot of questions to answer, so here we go. The first question was kind of about the issues of intersections of religion and sexual orientation, and I think first off, those kind of intersections come in as people are raised in a religious faith or tradition, and what they're taught about related to sexual orientation, and kind of in those ways, and then as folks establish their identity or become aware of their identities, if those who are raised in a particular faith or tradition are at odds with what has already been taught to them. And so I think there's definitely some intersections there. Additionally, if folks have this kind of developed their identity, understand their sexual orientation, but there's no home for me in a particular tradition that they have become aware of. And so I think those are kind of the intersections, or where there's a disconnect between understanding of a religious faith and sexual orientation and some of those tenets of a particular faith. Second, how do we create spaces for multiple religious traditions to feel welcome? I feel good about what we're doing at Elon University. We have that's where I work. We have we call the Truett Center for multi-faith initiatives. And so literally it is a building where all of our religious organizations have a space in a shared sacred space that they utilize. And each area also has a specific room for community within those particular traditions, but they share a shared sacred space to utilize. And it's really creating those spaces where those multi-faith, interfaith opportunities for people to come together. We have a living learning community related to interfaith. We also work with the Interfaith Youth Corps out of Chicago related to initiatives along those lines. So how do we create space for multiple traditions to feel welcome is by making sure that we recognize the various faiths that are on our campus and create an opportunity for them to engage with each other. The next question was about space for non-dominant sexual identities to feel safe and explore. I think there also needs to be space for them, that group, to have and find community. But then we also need to, and taking to heart what Nancy Evans and Jamie Washington wrote about in terms of being allies, is how do we create allies within heterosexual dominated organizations. Tend to be fraternities and sororities, sports groups, club sports, our larger organizations. How do we create allies within those organizations so that students feel comfortable exploring their sexual identity in those spaces? So it's not just a gender and LGBTQI center, but also how are we creating allies out there within our campuses. And then the last question was about coexisting and celebrating in those spaces. So how do we, maybe when there are tensions in residence halls and such, how do we create space? I think it's just an opportunity for dialogue and exploration. I read a George Will article about campuses not being a space where you can share perspectives, and that there only is one perspective that is shared, and that you have to abide by that perspective. And I disagree. I think college campuses are an opportunity for those dialogues to happen. And so, we really need to create these frameworks where students can take the opportunity to engage with other students and close mentorship, and making sure that there is safe space to be shared amongst in that confined space or structured space. And I'll give a specific example. We have a program called Burst the Bubble, which is 3 classes, quote-unquote classes, that are held over our winter term that students will teach to other students, and students can sign up. And one of the classes we had in the last winter term was called The Sexy and Genderful God. And there were 3 sessions talking about religion and sexuality and sexual orientation. There was a specific session on sexuality and supporting LGBTQIA students. And so related to religion. So how creating those spaces where there can be the conversation about what does it mean to support folks who by religious organization my religious tradition may not agree with wholeheartedly. So with that, I think I've answered all the questions. I did want to say I really enjoyed Warren Blumenfeld's article on homophobia hurts everyone. I think it's recognizing and utilizing the things that he was talking about in the article with our students to say it's not just hurting those who identify as lesbian or gay in this instance as he was writing, but specifically it hurts all of us and creates environments that aren't beneficial for all of us. So with that, I'm going to wrap up for the evening and look forward to seeing your videos this week. Have a good day.